Sweets and stuff, and like he had those in there. So like every day we'd go like they go out to eat or something. Like we kind of do our own thing after morning training. And Canuto would he ate a thing of Oreos and then would crash on the couch in the academy. It was like
just like a sugar rush.
Yeah.
No. How was training out there in Chicago?
All the guys were they were so tough.
Yeah.
They're all coming they were there to live, they had training as if their life depended on it.
Yeah, well, all the Brazilians.
Yeah.
Guys out there. Oh yeah, those guys are.
And Canadian, there's Canadian there.
Yeah, those guys. I mean, in reality, a lot of times they are training and competing for livelihood and exposure, so those guys don't mess around. That's the one thing.
Yeah, they don't tap. I remember one of their right here.
Yeah, they're closer.
I remember one of their ankles. I heard it pop. I had an ankle lock on, and the ankle popped. I'm like, "You all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm totally fine." He looked as if I just stretched him out. It wasn't doing anything to him at all. But
yeah, how was your experience there?
It was fun. Got my butt whooped a little bit. I was the little brother out of the group. Everybody was oh, I'll do all the, just beat the crap out of me.
Keep you, yeah.
Kept me grounded.
Well, especially your blue belt now, man. And I think when you get out of that, the kid color belt stage, and you it's okay, you're close enough to an adult where we can kind of roll you up a little bit and have open season. That was for the Chicago Open. So,
beginning of blue belt's kind of weird though.
When you first got your blue belt?
Yeah, it was a weird transition. I was still kind of I wasn't really training when I got my blue belt. I was hurt and wrestling, even though I was hurt. But yeah, blue belt, it was weird at first, because you're coming out of being a kid. It's green belt was very transitional, I feel and then blue belt, once blue belt hit, it was your eyes were what the heck?
Like a reality check?
Yeah, a reality check. It was whoa.
The training or the?
Just getting it, just receiving it, and then going into the harder brackets, the higher level, competing at Worlds in the pyramid, really, it was a different. And then at Worlds, I remember my first year at Worlds, I'm there I'm in the bullpen, getting ready to go, whatever, these kids, I got these kids just like me, in there with me. And then all these black belts, I got the big names by me, Claudia Doval's fighting on one mat, Leandro Lowe's getting ready to fight on a mat as I'm walking to my mat, Buchecha was there. Like I see like all these guys in the bullpen, like these like amazing athletes, and even Muhammad Ali. Like I trained with him the night before, like at Agiogo's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like it was like weird. Like I'm like there like with all the best of the best, and then like it was like that was just a great but crazy experience at the same time. And then like this year I guess like was also another transitional year, because like going from the juvenile division to the adult division, like with brackets that are like hundreds of like 90, 70, like my Pan Am's bracket was 60 people. My world's bracket was like 98, I think. Like you think like juvenile is hard, but like the adults like harder in a different way. Like this year I screwed up at worlds, but yeah.
Yeah, you had a good time, but yeah, I could see that, especially blue belt. Now you always hear the thing in blue belt of
like it's just as hard as black.
Yeah, I mean, well, and especially because you have so many competitors on blue belts that they're not like blue belts that started like me. You know, I was a blue belt, and I was training 4 years, and well, I got my blue belt after 2 years, a little over 2 years to get my blue belt. But you also have blue belts that have been training for 15 years. You have like these blue belts that are just been training for since they were little kids.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference. And when they say like, oh yeah, you have all these blue belts here too that are competing as blue belts, but they'll tap black belts too. Or they'll give black belts that have been training for not all their whole lives, but you see them training and pushing some of these higher levels because that's all they know. They've been doing that their whole lives. Which like you, I mean too. I mean, you've been training for how old were you first when you started training?
I'm 17. I turned 18 in November, so I'm in the adult division because I turned 18 this year. Yeah, like what you're saying, like it's like that, like everybody's been doing it for like 10 plus years, like if you started like at blue belt these days. Like blue belt is not the same from when jiu-jitsu first started now. Mm-hmm. Blue belt's like, some of those guys at blue belt, like you said, could give
they're
black
beasts.
belts. Yeah,
they're total beasts. They've been doing it, but so yeah, that was a huge trend. I mean, I think the blue belt, when you get your juvenile blue belt, it's kind of a transition, because I remember when you got it, and it was a big deal, and it always is. But it's not like you get like your gray belt or your yellow belt when you're a kid, or even green belt, because green belt kind of like, okay, well, you're sometimes you'll be in a blue belt bracket, sometimes depending, because you were in blue belt bracket a couple times as a green belt, I remember.
Yeah, I was like, but like even with that, so like a green belt, like it was like I didn't really care at that point. Like I was like, I got nothing to lose. Like then like I'd also work, like even when I was a green belt competing at blue belt, I'd work myself up like a lot. Like so I'd be like, I was like 15 and like I was going against guys that were like 17, 18 and like they had beards and stuff. I was like, oh my God.
I remember that.
And like,
well, and
they're stronger.
It's a big transition, because it's a transition, like, as I think, not to speak for your parents, but I think as a parent myself, seeing it, I would look at it as you get your blue belt. It's like you're like the phase. It's like adulthood, kind of. It's like turning 18 or graduating in high school.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way of putting it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like you view it like, okay, wow, it's a step into the adult division, into adult brackets, and it's like it's a eye-opening experience, I would imagine, because even from a white belt to blue belt, as
it's still an eye-opening.
Yeah, from a white, if you're an adult, you just start to go, wow.
Yeah, but like to be training like for like your whole life, like going through the kids' belts, like the white, the yellow, the orange, and the green, and then like, well, like that's the old way. Like I guess you can say like that's the way my dad brought me up through it, like almost holding me at orange belt for almost 5 years, and then like getting your blue belt is like, it's a big step up. Like you're like kind of like one of the guys now.
Yeah, no, and it is true, because I remember when you and I were rolling one time, and we were still at the academy before this location. We were at
the dentist, like
that office, and you were green belt and kind of like, oh, okay, we're rolling, and I'm a lot bigger, so I was careful, at rolling. And I remember you got a straight arm, and it like my elbow popped, and I was like, oh crap, like I need to not leave my freaking, or be careful now more, because it's like, oh crap, this, he's growing up, he's getting some, strength into him, and he's really good, you're really good. And I remember that I'm like, son of a gun, I'm like, crap, I'm definitely not gonna be, I'm not gonna be rolling like an ass and trying to smash you, but also too, I'm like, I'm not gonna view him like a juvenile or a kid anymore. It's like, because he's gonna take my arm.
Green belt, like I felt for me is like I'd prove like I'm like there, like I'm like I could tap a blue belt. Like I had to be able to tap a blue belt if I wanted to get my green, or if I wanted to get my blue. Wait, let me rephrase it. I had to be able to tap a blue belt like nothing if I wanted my blue belt, and then I had to like give purple belts like a run for their money. Like that's what I knew if I wanted my blue belt. And so like when I went like with other blue belts, I was like, I gotta beat the crap out of him. So my dad's like, oh wow, he's doing it. He's like, he's gonna, I think he's ready. Like, so he could see I was ready. So like green belt was like a lot about proving myself. Like I'm like how, you say like, it's kind of like turning 18. Like it's kind of like proving you're a man, like kind of like in that jiu-jitsu sense. And then blue belt is like, wow, I'm a man. And like, what do I, it's like it's like, you got to prove yourself even more now. Cause like, you're like, I went through everything. Now it's like, I got to really prove myself and show like, I'm one of the big guys. Like I got a shot in this sport. Like I'm going to be one of the best in the world.
Yeah. And it's true. And then until you really meet like really good blue belts, and then you get the crap, be like, gosh dang it, I'm not very good after all.
Yeah.
Because I still remember the trip where I took you and Ryan and we went up to Utah, and that was a cool time.
Oh yeah, like rolling with Mateos was like, it was an eye opener. Like I knew what I had to do to like be a successful blue belt. Like I was a green belt at the time, but like he showed me what that next level was, like that top 3 in world. Like that
top 2, he was a finalist in worlds as a blue belt.
Yeah, like top 2 in pans. Like he showed me like the level like it took to be like one of the big dogs.
Yeah. And he's another one, Mateo's kid. Those that don't know. And yeah, we've been recording too this whole time. So.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just like warming up still. Because he said like, let's practice. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, it's organic. It's more like that as opposed to like, ready, set, go. Like, no, it's and I just like starting with the conversation, and so we didn't even do the intro, so I'll do the intro when I edit it. But
we should have taken him back to Utah before he left.
Oh,
I just did. I went back to Utah.
It was just in Utah too. That's right.
I just competed.
But so I remember taking you guys out there, and how many years ago that was? It was a couple of years ago. But it was a good training. I took Ryan a few times out there. Those that don't know, we're talking about the Carlson Gracie in Salt Lake City with Suyan.
It's not in Salt Lake anymore.
Well, it's in it's in the Salt Lake area. There's 2 locations now. But Suyan Quiroz and Carlao, gosh, I forgot his name. Carlos Santos, which are Carlson black belts, senior black belts. And but so we did that trip, and it was really cool because I had you guys, and I was working out there, so I had you guys, and you guys, I mean, it was so much fun.
Yeah, we'd walk to the academy in the morning. And
it was fun. Train and
we got Wendy's.
But yeah, because we got a places, a hotel or a room to be at. But I mean, I think that was probably one of the first times when I just started noticing. Your parents trusted me to have you with me and take you, on a plane and watch over you guys and take care of you guys.
That was like about the time you started like really getting into kids class too, right?
Yeah, well, no, by that time I was definitely coaching already at that time because we were at the other place. Yeah. And I think
that's like when my dad was like, if he like had something going on, he would trust you to like run the whole class. Like, you know what
Yeah,
to do with
by
the
that
kids.
time,
Yeah.
by that time, definitely.
That's like probably a better way of putting it.
Yeah. And but I think that was the first time I was like, oh wow, he's, because I remember you from the location, and you were a yellow belt, I think, at that time.
Oh no, I was
you already orange?
I was
belt?
an orange belt when we opened.
You were orange belt.
I was an orange belt through the whole first location.
That's right.
Then, no, I got my green right before we got the second one. Actually,
yeah, you were still at the second one, at the first one, and you had your orange, and so I saw you coming through the years, and then your little guy, and then with your shaved head all the time.
Yeah, you saw me go into adult class and get smashed by like your wife, like 93
it was
pounds.
Cool. I mean, it's been really cool to see you grow up in that, and then especially having you and Ryan and grow up together. And it's funny because we have so many pictures of you guys through your promotions, like every belt.
Yeah, like we take that picture of like
take
us standing in the
picture.
Bulldogs.
Yeah. So when I took you guys to Utah, I was like, man, this is fun. It was cool because it wasn't like little kids. I mean, I left you guys alone. You guys were alone for a while.
Yeah, like we'd walk like places and stuff.
Yeah, we're like, okay, we're gonna go to Wendy's down the street, and I'm like, okay, and then I'd watch Ryan's phone on my GPS, or if I was when I was at work, I'd like watch you or track you guys while you guys are walking to the academy, which it wasn't too far, but still it wasn't like, it's like,
you gotta,
we're in a
like,
different
worry.
state. But then I was like, man, this is pretty cool. Not like little kids. You guys were having fun, and
I thought it was fun.
Good.
It was weird, but like it was fun because I didn't know where we were going half of the time.
Yeah, but you guys other time. I mean, what else did you guys do? I mean, what did you enjoy about the trip?
I got a pet cat.
Yeah, that cat that like would follow us around.
So we were walking to the Wendy's, and I just saw this cat, and and then I walked away, and it was following me, and then it came up, and like I pet it and stuff, and it just kept following me everywhere, and then Alex scared it.
Yeah, I scared it when I threw the ball.
Ass. But though, I mean, I remember like I still have the videos like of you guys. It was funny because I was going through my phone, and you guys were like wrestling in the
on the couch. Yeah, like we're like.
Oh, I remember that. That's when you found out about The Office.
Yeah, and then he was like twisting my nipple. I remember him like twisting my nipple a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, sending your parents updates all the time, and how's he doing? Is he alive? And so it was cool. It was a fun trip in that sense, and so it's a lot of firsts. I mean, being
it was
around.
fun living in that house thing.
Yeah, the apartment.
Yeah, the apartment thing. That was
Trader
fun.
Joe's.
Yeah, Trader Joe's was the best.
Yeah, we what did we do for Trader Joe's for what?
For food.
Yeah, we got like a ton of like groceries, and like we'd make like peanut butter jelly, and like we had like
The best one
pistachios.
was the chocolate bananas. Those were the
The
best.
frozen stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I just liked how it felt out there. Like it was like rainy, but not rainy.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
just
it's
like-
beautiful up there. Yeah, but you did a lot of training, a lot of like it was like a big camp because even Ryan did a little bit of the adult, with some of the smaller stuff. So it was pretty cool. And
I think like at that point, everybody is getting ready for Master Worlds, right?
it was like this time. It was like this time of the year.
Yeah.
So like around the end of summer.
Like everyone was training hard. Like I remember that.
Yeah, there's some beasts out there now with Suyan up there, and
Yeah. His son's phenomenal.
yeah. So then they have the second location, and I'm not sure if he's running it now or.
Yeah, I don't know who's running it.
Yeah, but
I thought they were just moving though, because
Yeah,
I think they're slowly
moving too.
compacting.
they're moving. Oh no, wait.
I thought they were just gonna move
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought
that's
they-
right. You know what? I think they are just moving.
because they had some of the mirrors down when I went last time, and like they're kind of like slowly packing.
Yeah, that's right. I think you're right.
I think they
are.
open, and then they're gonna open in a couple months.
Yeah, I think they are going to get that location up already. But so a big reason why I wanted to invite you is to have the conversation with us and talk about. We're talking about a lot of it's that time of year where school's starting and Ryan started high school and it's the fresh fish in the place, and then
Yeah, then he's like at a completely new school where he doesn't really know a lot of people.
Yeah, no, that's true. And then you got, he's going through that, and then you got your life starting now, and you got your situation is that you're going away for college, and you're moving, not just moving away, but you're moving up to like the Great White North, man, literally.
Yeah.
It's like,
one of the coldest parts in the country.
Yeah.
Did you from the hottest to the coldest.
Yes. But then also, too, at that part of the country, I always hear it's like really humid, and it's really, or I hear some, well, I hear is summers are pretty humid, but nothing like here. I mean, I don't think it's as far heat wise. Yeah. But yeah, how are you like, expect, I mean, when you go like for your first winter, do you have any idea what you're going to go through?
In the winter, no, I just know I'm going to wrestle. Actually the other day I just got my schedule for, and I'm like looking through the schedule, and I'm like, man, it seems like we got like 6 a.m. practice, then like later practices at night, like lifts, like conditioning, like looks fun. Like I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean it's a good. Well, I mean, and it's not. I mean, I can imagine collegiate wrestling. It's going to be obviously it's going to be a lot more difficult, and I mean, because not just your studies, but just the rigors of being a collegiate wrestler as opposed to high school. And then you went through the J-Rob wrestling camp too. How did that prepare you for, I mean, what did that do to you when you went?
When I went there,
explain what it is first, because I'm sure people.
So J Robinson camp is this intensive wrestling camp. Well, they have a 10, a 14, they have 14 and 28 day one, and then I went to the 28 day one, and it was, so basically every day at like 6 a.m. you get up and you go run. There's like, no matter what, you're gonna get up and run. It can like, even like one day it was like raining and stuff, like, and we even like in the middle of the night there was like a tornado warning like went off, like the alarm was going off and there was lightning. The next morning I get up, I asked like one of the counselors, I'm like, we running today, like even after last night? And they're like, oh yeah, we're still running. I'm like,
well, I mean, where are you? Were you in Minnesota for that one or no?
So basically, now like Jay doesn't work at Minnesota anymore.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he had like a little bit of a falling out with them. So now it's in Wisconsin, River Falls. It's like at this school over there. And then it's like a little college town. Like everybody kind of knows each other. Like it's on like one road. It's kind of like by where, like the same like vibe is like kind of like the vibe I'm going to now.
Okay.
It's just a little college town.
It's a small area, and which probably are used to tornado warnings. You're like, that's nothing, man. Yeah. It's like you're here, like, oh, it's 110 degrees. Like, life goes on still. It's like you're still got to do stuff.
Yeah,
you're still gonna,
the world still keeps going.
Yeah, no, it's true. So how was that? I mean,
it was very intense. Like I had my best friend with me, and he like we're like on one of his runs, he like hurt his shins like super bad. Like he was trying to push through, like really trying to push through, and he was like, yeah, his like he couldn't walk anymore.
I remember he was in a wheelchair for a little while.
He was in a wheelchair. Yeah, he got back. He was in a wheelchair. He didn't even know if he was gonna actually be wrestling that season. And luckily, it all went well for him. He ended up wrestling that season. But yeah. So basically, there I was up to like the halfway point. I was there by myself. Like I had to like start making friends like with some of those Minnesota kids. Like some of them are really good wrestlers. Like
that's a wrestling country up there.
Yeah, like they're tough. Like they would like go after you. It made it like really fun in practice. Like you'd have like really good scraps with these kids because they like everybody wanted to win a state title, and like some of these kids like that like were from like Illinois and stuff. They were like intense, and then the kids from the kids from Iowa were they were like on that head constantly, like to remember that. Yeah, it was fun. I had some good matches there. Like I wrestled some kids who eventually won state later that year, and then were placed in it. Like Yeah, I actually had a state champion in my running group. I remember that. He ended up winning state.
So how did that? I remember that the running thing, and I remember seeing the videos of before you left. And what was at the end? Because at the end you had, I mean, the big thing about J Rob is that it's super intense, and he just not mess around. And it's the one thing I think he's famous for is that he tells the parents that they're not going to be coddled here, and they're going to be pushed.
He even like said a whole little speech like in the beginning, like, and he kind of like while we were like checking in, me and my friend, he like kind of took everybody to this room, like all the parents, and like gave them this little shield, and like was like this is it, like this is the thing. Like in the video, I think they're like in the little highlight video, I think it even shows them kind of like in that room. I don't remember exactly, but yeah.
Yeah, he talks about it and talks about I think that's another phase of where you're, as a parent, you let go a little bit and you kind of, and because how old did you have to be there? You had to be in high school, obviously, right?
Actually, they suggest 15, but 15 or 14, I think.
Okay.
But with that said, there was like some 13-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
And like, there's one kid going into his freshman year. Kid was from Ohio. He's really freaking good. He was like in the wrestling group below me, but he was like, he won state this past year. And then his brother also won Fargo that year. We're all in J-Rob. Like his brother won Fargo, and everybody's like, yo, like freaking out. Like it was cool. Like some of those, and you had obviously the big thing was the big run at the end, and then you run and you did it. You get your black shirt. Yeah, honestly, that run was the easiest part.
Really?
Yeah, you go through all that crap, like the intense practices where like the coaches are trying to break you. They don't care. Like if you go home, like that's it. Like it's on you. Like obviously kids went home because they got hurt or skin stuff, like really bad skin stuff. But like those coaches, they try and break you. Even one coach was like, there was one coach, he was screaming at us. He's like, I'm gonna break you. Like while we're we're drilling, he literally stopped us. He's like, some of you are gonna be going home today. Like we will break you. And like kids did go home. Like I remember doing bear crawls. Like actually, I remember this was after this speech. Like it's the second day, and we're doing bear crawls. Me and my friend, like we're kind of like doing bear crawls next to each other since we just got done wrestling each other. And this one kid starts screaming, I can't. And I'm like, oh God, no. I'm thinking we're only on day 2, like, and this kid's like wanting to go home. I'm like, I remember like saying to my friend, I'm like, what else are they gonna do to us? It's only day 2 and like maybe like 10 kids left already. I'm like, yo, what do you think they're gonna do? Like this is gonna be a long ass 28 days.
And that's the thing. I think in things like that, it's for a lot of good reasons. And as a parent, you want because they've been Gerald's been going on forever, so it's not like it's a
actually the year I did it was the 40th year. So like when we got the shirts like with your name on the back, they did like something the shirts were gray instead of white, and then it said 40 years on the arm, which was
so it's been around forever. So it's not like it's like it's this thing to help our generation, and so it's been going on for a long time. And I think their goal is to not just create wrestlers, but to create leaders. And I think that's what as I would always say is like that's what we lack, and that's what your dad always says here.
Yeah, he tells the kids like
all the time. We lack leadership. We lack leaders.
There's going to be lots of leadership positions.
You're always going to have people that are just not the lead, but they're actually okay. Well, if you're not a leader, but at least be good to
they're going to be good at like taking orders. Yeah,
exactly. Be good at finishing what you're supposed to be doing to be part of the team.
Yeah, but you need people like that too in this world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But also too, you send I would imagine those camps and something like that, and you send your kid out to feel like, okay, well, you're to go out on your own and to feel alone for a little bit and to find yourself, like find your way. It's like, hey, you got to figure yourself out a little bit here.
Yeah.
And I think where kids in that sense kind of probably fail is if when parents kind of don't let their kids out a little bit. You don't push your kids, or you don't have expectations of your kids to do certain things. Like, your dad obviously has, since forever I've known you, always had expectations for a lot of things. There's expectations of Ryan that I expect of him, and there's, consequences, but not just that, but there's expectations for a lot of things, not just, for mentally and physically, school, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. But I think it helps shape a lot of kids, and then just wrestling, the sport in general. I mean, I think it's one of the best sports you can have your kids go through. But so I remember when you got back and you got back and you got your people, like, I noticed a change, and you just noticed that mentality of, you always hear, like, it's just you don't quit, you just go.
Yeah.
Just go, like, no matter what.
Yeah.
What did you get out of that experience?
Like, that camp, like, honestly taught me a lot. It, like, taught me like, set your goals high. So that year I wanted to win a state title. Like, I had nothing else, like, in mind. I wasn't gonna settle for second or third. So I got back. I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning to go run before school. Like, because my bus got there at 6:30 and I needed to shower and stuff because, like, I'd smell. So I was getting up, running 4:30 in the morning. And then we had this was before we owned our third academy, but the place we're in now used to be like personal training. So they'd leave their tires unlocked.
Yeah.
And I'd come here, I'd flip the tires and stuff, do different, like, I would practice my footwork on the tires, sprawl on the tires, whatever it may be. Practice going around the tires so that way I can what's it called, like, practice circle, like, getting around, like, to the back. And I even got that. I think somebody called the cops on me at one point because, like, this cop literally pulled up, turned his high beams, looked at me, and then just drove away, like, didn't even care. But yeah, I was doing that. I'd get up, run, lift at school. Like, I didn't, like, lift heavy or anything. I just, like, lifted enough. Like, and then I'd wrestle at school, like, the preseason stuff, and then I'd come to jiu-jitsu, or I'd do more preseason stuff at Thoroughbred. And like, I kept on it, and then eventually wrestling season came. I was having a really hard time getting down to weight for that, actually, because I was really lean, because I kept up on everything. I was in shape. Like, I was actually gonna have to wrestle at probably what I walked around at. And then about 2 weeks in, my knees are killing me. I had my knees braced up and stuff, like, during practice. And I kept doing everything because, like, I wanted to win. I wanted to be a state champ. And I wanted to win worlds for jiu-jitsu. Like, I wanted to, like, I had these goals set in mind. I had them written down. Like, I knew what it'd take. Like, I was eating clean. I was eating really clean. Like, obviously, like, I'd have, like, cookies and stuff, like, at night before bed. Like, like, you gotta have some fun. And then, like, I was, like, I couldn't even walk up the stairs at that point, and I was still trying to run and squat, like, do everything. And then one day, like, I like, finally told my parents, like, I had to call it. Like, they took me to the doctor. The doctors couldn't find out what was wrong with me. Then I went to an ortho. I went to 3 different orthos, and, like, they're like, yeah, you're probably not gonna wrestle this season. And then I sat out for probably about 3 weeks. And my coach, we went to this tournament every year. You're allowed 2 people per weight class, but the second person wouldn't be scoring. And 145 we only had 1 guy. And I asked my coach, hey, can I go? I'm not gonna cut anything. I can't go running or anything. He's like, if you can make it through a week of practice, you can go. I made it through a week of practice. Like I forced myself to get through that. Like I wanted to go to that practice. I wanted to go to that tournament. Like I didn't want to go to school. Like my coach offered me, you can be a manager. I don't want to be a freaking manager. This is so boring. Like I want to be like out there wrestling. Make it through the week. I go wrestle at this tournament. Like I did pretty good. Like I could barely like walk, and I ended up making it like 2 away from placing in the end. Like and I could barely walk. And then I was very happy with that, and then I wanted to keep going, and then I ended up finishing out my season. I didn't have the greatest record, but like I just wanted to wrestle because like I'd gone through that camp. Like I wasn't doing all the stuff I was doing. I was just lifting upper body, lots of pull-ups, bench press. Like,
and when you went through that, though, I mean, and I think that's a great example for things to share. You know, things that you pass down to Ryan and for people to view. Is that it's great to have these goals and you can do everything perfect, and it's just not enough. It's just not and I mean everything. The work ethic, do everything that you need to do to put in all this time that you need to do, but then also too, I think you realize that's not your challenge. Like I think you're going into it like, okay, my challenge is wrestling is the state championship. That's your original thought. And then you find out that, well, no, it's actually just walking, or it's actually just getting to compete or getting to be able to go to wrestle, get on the mat again. And then you realize, you thinking you got to look back down and say like that was my challenge, even though I didn't place, but okay, I still did exactly what I had to do. My mentality didn't change. I was still grinding. I was still doing what I was supposed to do. You're getting up, doing your workouts. I didn't place, but I did. My win was getting there. Yeah. And as crappy as it is, you got at this point it's easier, or at some point you'll look back at it, and from in my opinion, you'll look back and just say, that was a huge deal. It just sometimes you run short and things aren't meant the way you plan out, and then you adapt to it and you change it. And you know what? My goal right now is, I'm going to finish this week of practice. It's just to get there. Yeah. And that's also too, as you got to look at is that mentality just doesn't come from anywhere. That mentality, that grind, that drive comes from years of your parents, years of wrestling, years of jiu-jitsu, having your ass smashed every freaking day here.
Oh yeah, especially when you're 90 pounds in an adult class.
Yeah. And then, it's like stuff like J-Rob, doing things like that, doing things that are not just out of your comfort zone, but also too out of doing what people won't do. And that's the one thing. And I'll tell you, Ryan, now is anything that you guys get out is always look for something, always look at accomplishing something that someone is not willing to do. And then you'll be fine.
Yeah, I know like most kids would have they'd have been happy sitting on the side, like, oh, I don't have to do practice. I get to get out of it. Like, but when you when you really want to just do something, you're going to find a way to do it. Like, I wanted to they said I couldn't even do jiu-jitsu too. So I ended up training there was a period of time where I was doing jiu-jitsu, but not wrestling because I needed to train. I had to do something. Mm-hmm. So I got my guard good. I got really good at guard. You'd have those guys that would just hold my legs, and I couldn't move them because they'd hurt too much if I tried moving them. So I started doing moves that I'd never do, like different submissions and stuff that relied on me not using my legs, or like basically going off other people's reactions so they catch themselves in the submission. Like it helps my style. Like
yeah, and you that's what you do. You learn your game. You learn how to adapt, and not just gonna sit there and like, oh crap, I can't do takedowns, or I can't do this anymore. And it's you can't. You know, there's so much more. I mean, in wrestling, like you got to play off the stand up. It's not like jiu-jitsu. It's like you can't pull guard or something, but you can adapt to certain things to it. And same thing exactly. You know, I went over a year with the knee injury, and you know, almost heavyweight or ultra heavyweight, trying to play the bottom game. It's like ridiculous. Are you kidding me? I felt like a turtle, like upside down.
You like had like
ridiculous. Like
you're like a ball, like you like. You're like a ball who throws submissions up, like.
And then that's how
you adapted to like the situation, yeah.
You know, you adapt like, okay, well, I got to figure something out. I'm not gonna wait to get better and then like be rusty, like. Yeah, exactly. Completely forget everything.
Yeah, you'll be like restarting, like.
Yeah, it's sort of like, okay, well, like, you know, you get beat up and you're like, oh crap, well, I gotta play half guard. Well, I can't play close guard because my legs are too short, and the guys I go against are big, so it's not like I wrap my legs around them. It's like, well, that's out of the picture. It's like, okay, half guard. Like, okay, I could do half guard. And then like, okay, well,
now
this
you
is
like
pretty
half
fun.
guard.
And this is like kind of, okay, it's kind of fun. You know, I kind of like it and enjoy it, and that's part of who I adapted to moves that, you know, maybe your dad taught one thing, like, oh crap.
But then you would change it for yourself so that way it'd work.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, okay, well, you can't just sit on and let one thing set you back. You know, you're gonna get set back no matter what. No matter like I said, no matter how planned the road is paved for that you're trying to do for yourself, there's always gonna be bumps in there. There's always gonna be something that's gonna be. It's just not. And that's life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's life for you guys. I mean, in high school, you know, Ryan's learning how to plan things out for college and how to do this for college. Like, well, you know, some stuff's going to happen along the way that's might try to hold you back, but you still have to focus on setting the goal to be like, this is the ultimate goal, is to be very, you know, to work hard and do the best that I at my ability, you know, that you're able to do. The same thing with you. Like, your goal, it's one thing might be, you know, wrestling in States was one thing, and you know, now you're at a different point in your life where it's like, okay, well, college is, you know, you're expecting like, okay, it's gonna be like this. I'm gonna get up and do this, and this. Like, well, you have life in between too. It's like stuff's gonna.
Goals change too. With that said,
they have to change, and you have to learn how to adapt to it.
Like I'll admit, like. I lost at state, so like this past year, like I lost in the blood round, I didn't even place. Like I was like one away, and then I was like, okay, I gotta change. I'm probably not, like, I didn't think I was gonna wrestle in college at that point, so I was like, okay, I gotta focus on jiu-jitsu. So I took about 2 weeks off, like from wrestling, give myself like time. Then I started training jiu-jitsu. Like I was still pissed I lost at state. Like I was like that wasn't new, but I was training jiu-jitsu, and I'd go to like freestyle tournaments on the weekend, just like kind of like, you want to like still kind of like get in there and like scrap around a little bit. And like I wasn't doing the best, but I just wanted to take people down. Like I'd get like rolled and stuff, like so I'd tech myself sometimes. But, like I just wanted to take people down, like get that stand up, like and scrap like with other people who are good at stand up. Like
you had to fulfill that itch.
Yeah. And then one day just like, and then like I was keeping my jiu-jitsu. I was getting ready for Pan Ams too at that time. And like one day on Instagram, I saw a friend of mine, like an old friend, like haven't talked to her in years. And I see her going to that school, and I'd applied to the school. Like after state, I applied to maybe like 6 or 7 colleges with that were like Division II, cheap tuition that like I know my parents could afford. And I could hopefully come out of like with not as crazy debt like as some of these people do. But yeah, like I saw that, and like, oh shoot. I saw that, and I just gone into the school like maybe like a couple of days ago, literally a couple of days ago. And then and then I asked her like, oh, how's the school? Like, you like it and whatever. And she's like, yeah, I love it here. It's like amazing. And like, I asked her a ton of questions. I'm like, Then I started talking to my parents about it. And then one of our students happened to be best friends with the head wrestling coach. And then I start like, and then like when I thought I was done wrestling, I start getting my itch even more now. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it's like kind of like a drug addict with drugs. Like you want you got that itch. You want to go. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I don't think jiu-jitsu is gonna, like, I started kind of getting this thing. I'm like, okay, yeah, I think something's gonna happen. And then I get in contact with the coach after talking to Jake. I'm like, shoot, I just gotta say screw it. I can't be shy about this. I called the coach up the next day. Apparently Jake had called him right before then. I started talking to the coach on my way home from school, and like, he was like, oh yeah, you want to come out on a recruitment visit? I'm like, yeah, that'd be very interesting. And then that same day, like I'm about to leave for Pan Am's, same day I get home, tell my mom gets all the crap done. We got like a hotel booked, like, and plane tickets, like within maybe like a 30-minute period. And I tell the coach like, hey, does this work? He's like, yeah, that works. Go out. We fly out to the school. The town was small, but I didn't care about the town. Like I just like knew I was there for two things: get a degree and wrestle. Then I ended up committing there, so now my goals changed. Like I completed the small goals leading up to like what's gonna happen now. So now my goals, getting like straight A's, and then like getting straight A's, and then trying to become an All-American before I graduate within 4 years. Mm-hmm. So it's just like the goals are constantly changing. Like I thought my little goals were gonna just be like train as much jiu-jitsu as you can, like go to like as many places and train, but like the goals are changing like constantly. Like now, like I thought my 5-year goal was gonna probably be like get my black belt. Now my 5-year goal is become an All-American in wrestling, like that. But then, so now my 10-year goal starts to change. Like my 10-year goal is probably gonna be like, oh, win worlds at black belt. That's my 10-year goal now. Like your things are constantly changing, like, and I think it's good because like I think things need to be constantly changing, because if you're just going through like the motions and stuff like people do like at these office jobs, like they get bored of it.
Yeah, and it's true, and I think it's probably the you touched on a really good point. It's one of the things that I tell Ryan a lot, and I tell people, and just in passing, and yourself included, is that, I mean, you guys are young right now, young enough to where you can take a risk. Like, okay, I'm going to do this, and and if I fail at this, I can start over. You know, and if you graduate college, all right, I'm going to start a business. If you fail at that business, you're young enough to recover and create something else. And yes, and that's the one thing you hear about is all these successful people, you'll find out in business school, is that all these people failed so many times trying to before they created this, you know, whatever they're in, before they created this business they're in, or before they're landing at this, you know, job that they're in. And where, you know, you don't want to be like, okay, well, I'm not going to risk that. I'm not going to be taking those risks, you know, because a lot of us kind of, and I always share it, it's like, okay, well, as much as I love what I do, it's like, you know, that's why we created a podcast, because like, you know, I need something to, you know, what jiu-jitsu fills that spot too. Like jiu-jitsu fills a spot where it stimulates my mind in a certain way. And the same thing with podcasting and video and all that stuff. That stuff, it's like stimulates me. And so that's what I'm, you know, even though I'm,
it kind of gives you like that fun thing to do. Like how some people like maybe like click comic books or something. Like you got the podcast, like, and the videos you make like about the kids, like competing and the different things. Like,
it's like you're It's like your outlet.
Yeah, it's your outlet.
Exactly.
everything.
So it's a really the worst thing you want to do. And I always hear, I'm a big Gary. You know who Gary V is? Gary Vaynerchuk.
No.
You're gonna have to follow him. And one of the biggest things is like the biggest regrets is laying, watching an old person talk about regret.
Okay, actually, I think I've heard this. Actually, I heard it just recently. Watched a video like he like went to like a hospital and these people are about to die and they had these regrets like that they didn't do this, like that they spent most of their life working like these jobs they hated, like and that got me thinking, like, if you ever like hate something, maybe sometimes you got to take that leap of faith. Like, you got to take that risk, like, to go find something better for yourself. Like, you don't want to just settle. Like, that's one thing Jay said. You don't want to just settle. You got to get like what you want. Like, if you, like, he used a car as an example. Like, why settle for like a lower model when you can get like a higher model? Like, you gotta, if you want something, you gotta go out and get it. Like, even if it's just like a car, or like in this case, it could be a dream. Like, you got a dream, you're gonna go out there and do everything in your power to like try and get that dream. Like he probably has something like that. Like, you got like that one dream you want to go out and get. Like, nothing's gonna stop you. Like, no matter what, like, you gotta get it. Like, you just gotta, you're gonna keep pushing away, grinding at it like constantly to get that thing.
And that's the one thing that you're not gonna realize until you have that, maybe that failure, because it's gonna happen. Trust me, I can't think of anybody like, oh, everything.
There's nobody who
perfect.
got it on the first shot.
Exactly.
Like,
and so your goal, that your dream to do whatever it is, and your goal is this, like, well, along the way you gain a lot of experience and you learn a lot that, well, you know what, maybe that's not my goal at first. Like, that's what people would always, the whole thing I'm trying to get to is like when people say like, oh, I'm going to be an accountant, and now I'm an accountant. Now, crap, it's freaking 10 years later or 15 years later, and I'm at a desk and I freaking hate it. As opposed to maybe along the way, like, maybe it's not exactly what I want to do. Let's figure out let's make a change. Let's do it now, where you're young and you can kind of like, okay, well, let's just do this. Like, well, that didn't work out. Like, we got to figure this out. So I think that's kind of, and the way you explain it, I wouldn't worry anything about you at all. I mean, you have a very good mindset about it. And the one thing that's I always tell, my kids and people that I'm around is always be open to what people have to say, especially if they're trying to like, hey, enlighten don't be so close-minded where it's like, okay, I'm only going to listen to people that do what I want to do or do what I like, as opposed to, well, let me listen to what you have to say because I'm going to grasp something from you. And it kind of leads into where it's like, when you started in high school, like your goals were state championships and state this and, world jiu-jitsu championships. And it's led you into something else to where in your life you're kind of you have a really awesome opportunity, because it's very few people.
You get like the opportunity to go to college even, or wrestle and do like what they love while in school. And not just
that, but being able to, and that's exactly right, but also being able to do it in a different state. Yeah. In a different environment completely. And to have that life experience to be like, man, that was so cool. And like that, you know what? And that's so cool to be able to do that as, and I always, the really good thing that, when I was growing up and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and this, but I always pictured my life in California.
Yeah, but now look at you, you're in Arizona.
Exactly. And that's why it's like, we're going to risk it and come here. And we've met, our lives are way better. Not that it was easy by any chance, by any means at all. Because we lived here with no family. Ryan was 2 years old. Nick was gonna be 1 when we moved here, so we had to do everything ourselves. So, so you're not in an opportunity, in a spot to do things that people are afraid to do. They're afraid to like, oh, I can't leave home. And trust me, I have family that are like that. and friends that like, I could never leave California, or I could never leave my mom and dad. I could never leave my, my brothers and sisters. I can never do that. And, and I'm sure it's happy and everything, but it's like, I can't imagine, as much as I'm sure your parents would love to have you here and be their kid, to be, go to ASU, go to
Chandler Gilbert. Like,
do something like that. With Ryan, as much as I would love, like, don't go far away. Don't do this. Stop growing up, and I want him to experience life. I want him to be like, okay, yeah, I went to school over here, or I met, I was starting my life. My life is in this state now. I'm like, okay, that's, as much as a parent, it hurts a parent. You did your job right then. Yeah. Because if you prepared your kid to go out in the world and risk it and then figure it out on himself with help on the way, because your parents will always be the parents. That's the one thing you're going to find out when you have your kids. When I was telling Ryan this, you're going to find out to what extent you'll do for your kids to help them. And if when they okay, well, I'll help you with this, and you need help to guide you.
Yeah.
And
or even like the Native Americans, it's like they when a male was like about to grow up, they left their family, didn't talk to them or anything. They just left and went on this journey of like self-discovery, like obviously like today's like a little different, like we got phones and stuff and like ways to communicate. Like that's like what kind of like moving away is. Like it's like the male stepping out to go on his journey, like to come back a man, and like start creating his own life and like being like a man, being a leader.
Exactly. And it is. And that's one, and those analogies and those ways of is because, I've had that talk with you too. It's like, I'm like, you got to start your life. You got to start your story starts. Your high school story started,
finished,
and it's finished now, and Ryan's story right now is starting. Like I tell him, like, enjoy your time in high school, play sports, have friends, enjoy going to class and enjoy that part, because trust me, that's one of the most fun, awesome times you're going to have. And enjoy growing up, enjoy that part of your life. And then, that book is going to end, or that chapter is going to end. And you're going to have to create another, at some point when you get out of high school, that's when your life starts. Yeah. Your life and your college years, or your whatever, your sight to whatever profession or end game or goal you're going to have, it begins. And one of really cool, one of the companies I worked for, is we used to have, I don't know if you remember him, Drew Bledsoe. He was a quarterback. He played at Washington State. He was a quarterback for the Patriots before Tom Brady. And his dad he wasn't a therapist or psychologist or something, but he would do these parenting talks, and he would come into some of our meetings, and he'd talk about like raising kids and stuff like that. His name's Mac Bledsoe, and it's I forgot the name of the book, but he has his book out. And I remember reading the book, and it was like kind of, the analogy was your kids are kind of like a mortgage, like your house payment. Every year you make your payment, that's knowledge you're teaching your kid. And every year the mortgage gets paid off until one year it's done. And that's how you have to. I hope I'm not ruining that analogy, because it sounds great, but I hope I freaking butcher it. But it comes into like, hey, your kids are not your kids. They'll always be your kids, but
they're on their own.
They're got to be, go away kind of thing. Don't go away, but you
kind of let go.
You let go, and it's like any kind of every parent kind of like let go a little bit. Like I gave you certain freedoms, I'm sure Junior had, certain freedoms, like, okay, like go there on your own and then see how you handle that. And then that comes with like, okay, well, now you get a little bit more freedom or a little bit more, that leash or that buffer zone gets kind of shrunken down. And that's kind of like where we're at with, our kids. Like, okay, we give them a little bit and let's see, like, well, they didn't handle that. No, they couldn't handle that, obviously. So like, okay, they're handling certain things better on their own. And so you want that. And you don't want your kids to be so dependent with like, can you make my doctor's appointment? And you're like 20.
Yeah.
Trust me, because I've had like family like that. Oh, I have to make my so-and-so's, doctor's appointment. I'm like they're freaking 18. Like, or, like, dude, let them deal with their stuff. Like, let's the kind of things that, and I get it. You don't want your, like, yeah, they're your kids and everything. You want them, you don't want them to leave. You want them with you the whole time, but it's selfish. I mean, in my opinion, parents like that are selfish because they can't let their kids like experience life, let them get bruised up, man. Let them get like, it just sucks. That's just the way it is. And then learn from that experience and like, well, fix it and get up and fix whatever you're going to be doing. Now Ryan's high school chapter coming up, when you went into high school, what was your expectations? Or how were you in high school or when you first started high school?
Well, when I first started high school, I was 13. And I was
that's right. You were younger. You were Ryan. Dang.
Yeah, I was 13. And like lots of the academy kids at the time, like our original like group, I guess you can say, we all went to school together. Like,
yeah, that's true.
So we like ate lunch together. We kind of like all hung out in our little group. And like, but like throughout the years, like maybe one person graduates, like things kind of like change, like your group of friends, like, but you still talk to them.
Yeah.
But like it changes like slowly. And then you see like, and then like you kind of change, you're growing, like, and then some friends change for the worse, like get into drugs, like get addicted to it or something, or some get arrested or like knock up a girl or like depends on like whatever. But yeah, you see like people change for the better, some people change for the worse, some people change so much you don't even recognize them. Like, it just depends. Like Ryan will probably change throughout these like next 4 years. Like he's gonna grow up, like he's gonna become more of a man. And then even in jiu-jitsu, like probably get like his blue like another 2-3 years. Like you'll see, like
yeah, that's true. I mean, it's just not gonna be the same. I mean, you can't expect. I mean, you're gonna change as a person. I mean, and so the people whoever you grew up with in high school, it's like you follow. I mean, you always be friends but your interests change.
Yeah, like even like with that said, like I got like friends and stuff, like I have one friend who moved to Alaska already, like he's out there working and stuff, like, and then I got like another friend who he's like in college already, like he's been in there for a year and he's like he's going through stuff, like he's trying to figure out life and like he's trying to get like himself together, like find who he really is, like
yeah, and it's true. I mean, all that happens. I mean, I think that's the part of high school that sometimes you forget, like, what, it's just not going to school, it's just life, it starts shaping you, or just as you grow up, it starts changing you, and you have that. And how's that, Ryan? How have you been now? 2 weeks in high school now?
Yeah.
How's that been? Now that you can talk, since it's been junior and I can talk the whole time.
Yeah. It's been weird, but it's been really fun so far. I've enjoyed it, and I'm mostly in sophomore classes, and I kind of like it a lot better because I have English as a freshman class.
Yeah,
and I kind of enjoy having all the older kids
in your classes.
Yeah, because they're all like, not like, I mean, they know what's going on in high school. and it's pretty cool hanging out with them. And usually, like when I go eat lunch, I hang out with the sophomores and a few freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's kind of weird going everywhere and getting used to like everyone there, because some kids are just crazy.
Like how?
I don't know, they're just crazy.
Yeah.
But it's been fun.
Yeah, and it's even your first couple of days were kind of, and that's part of the story of, in high school, you go to the wrong class, you go to you've missed the damn bus, you're freaking walking home, and you're.
I remember he like texted me, like I get up like from a nap, and I got this kid text me, I'm walking home right now. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm walking home right now. I'm like, you want me to come get you? He's like, no, I'm fine. I'm almost home. I'm like, okay, like.
Yeah,
he's like, I didn't know where my bus was. I went on the wrong one.
So yeah, exactly. I mean, so I'm like, he's like, Dad, can you pick me up? Or I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, dude, you're 2 blocks away. Figure it out. Which way do I go? You have a phone. Figure it out.
So that's where you go.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like, and it was funny because it was like the time that I was leaving work, and at the same time too, and I was like I'll probably catch him on the walk home. So I'm like, oh well, and I'm following him on the GPS on my phone. So I'm following, like, okay, he's kind of there. So I pass him and I go down to like the very end of the next light, and so I'm parked there waiting for him, and until he like walks up, and I was like, well, you made it the right way or something. I started giving him a hard time, and it was like literally like a couple, like half a block away.
He is so lucky his school's like right there. Like,
I know.
I walked home from Campa once, and that was probably like an hour and a half walk, and it was like April, like so like kind of when it starts getting really hot.
Yeah.
That sucked.
That's the one thing I was like, dang, it's hot. I'm like, well, I mean, nothing's gonna happen from here from 2 blocks. It's like, okay, well, he'll be fine, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it. I mean, yeah, but that's kind of fun. Like the funny things, like this, crap like that. It's like you gotta look at it, and it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. It kind of happened, but it's just part of the deal. Just part of growing up. And so, what are your plans for high school now? You got what? You got wrestling, obviously.
Yeah.
So get closer.
I don't know yet. Kind of just want to pass all my classes, do a bunch of summer classes, probably finish all my classes by junior year, and then just have senior year to just mess around.
Yeah, mess around. And it's so funny because I remember that was
By the way he's going, he might be able to like just have like one. Well, now you have to have 5 classes, but like when I was a freshman, like seniors would only be there for like an hour or 2, and then they would have their sport like after school, like they would just do an A hour. Like some of the football players who were like smart would just like have it so they'd show up to A hour to lift, and then like go home and just like do whatever, and then come back for practice.
Yeah, I remember I had 4 classes. I still had, because I didn't take any extra classes. I did all my classes. I think I did a couple extra summer classes, but I still had like English in my senior year, my 4th year English, or like I forgot, but I think I only had 4 classes my senior year. But I had nowhere to go. I didn't have cars. So I'm like, well, I just did electives. So I think I got out early. I think only like 3 like required classes that I had to take, and the rest were electives, and then football or wrestling. And then, so I was like, well, it's not like I can go home. Maybe, well, might as well just stay here all freaking day.
Yeah, pretty much my first semester. That was me like 3 days before school started my senior year. I totaled my car, and then yeah,
I remember that.
Kind of worked out for better because like I got that really really nice one. I kind of shouldn't have, but I have it. But like, yeah, it like I was literally pretty much had 2 classes. I had English and math, and then I was in a weights class because like you got like the wrestling coach wants all the wrestlers in a weights class, and then I TA'd for the wrestler, or the wrestling coach. I like walked his kid to school sometimes, like organized like PE equipment, like whatever it might be, like just little things like that. And then I'd be done like at like 12:30, my dad wouldn't come and pick me up. He's like, you total your car. You're going to learn. Like, you want to get home, you can walk. So I'll just like stay there. I'd get my homework done. I would get like home, have like maybe like 1 or 2 things left, like English gave me a lot, like homework. So I'd go home, have like 1 or 2 things left, and then I'd eat, and then like I'd come teach and like whatnot, like depends. Or sometimes I would like, or like I'd like hang out like in my old chemistry teacher's class, and she'd actually help me like with math and stuff. Like actually, let me rephrase that. So the teacher used to be a student teacher when I was a sophomore, and then she graduated college and is now a teacher at the school that she went to.
Okay.
And she like helped me pass geometry. So like when I needed like help like with homework, because I'd be in her class doing it, she'd like come help me with homework. And then like kind of like learned some chem a little bit over again. And like I was getting community service for it, even though I was just doing homework, and like sometimes I'd help her like with things. But like, yeah, I got like, so like I got like 30 hours of community service because of that. So kind of worked out in a way. But yeah, like I know like how that is, like not being able to get home. And like I didn't want to walk 5 miles, because by the time I'd get home it'd be like
exhausted, or if it's the middle of summer or something, it's gonna be, you got to get ready for. Yeah, and it's it's been exciting having Nick's gonna be in junior high, and so he's kind of getting ready for his
like another little transitional phase.
Another phase that transition into different classes and doing that his thing, and then his starting his thing, and him trying, he's into sports and doing his thing, and getting accustomed to, I'm sure, his challenge is like, you can't ignore the fact that he's gonna kind of come into like, okay, well, issues with friends and girls and this kind of, things that he has to go through, and like everybody else went through at one point in their lives and gone through high school, and you just can't ignore it. You gotta, and that's part of the deal. It's like kind of shapes your way, and it kind of helps you grow up a little bit. But so it's gonna be a fun thing for him.
So far, it's fun. I think it's fun.
It's fun. 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks in, dude. You got 4 more years to.
I remember like the first day of my junior year, my mom gets me up. She's like, "Come on, it's the beginning of the end for you." I'm like, "You're just excited for me to leave."
It's fun. I think the locker room's my favorite so far.
That is not something you should be saying.
It's fun. We just mess around.
Oh, I know. Like me and my friends would fight in the locker room. Like
that's exactly.
I felt like our 120 pounder. Like we'd get into like me and him. Oh my god, we'd get into like some of the brutalest fist fights. Like, and the wrestling coach would just be there. The wrestling coach doesn't care. Like he's just there laughing his ass off.
Sleeps. And we like walk by. We go to the weight room, and he's like sleeping, and he comes in like 20 minutes later. He's like, okay.
Yeah, like even like I got into the last 2 weeks of school, I got into a fight with our 170 pounder during weights in the wrestling room. We're just like freaking going at it, and the coach is like, "God, I've been dying to see this all year." Doesn't even care. He's just like, "I've been dying to see this all year." And then like I put the kid in a triangle, like because like he got pushed on top of me. And then I started elbowing him. He was like, "Okay, that's it." And then starts like intervening like once that happens. But
yeah, I remember it's sixth grade, 7th. I think it was that in junior high. We used to have slapbox fights in the bathrooms. So like even like passing period, be like, "Oh, so and so's like, all right, your turn. Like it's your turn to slapbox." And so it was just slapboxing, and man, we used to go at it. I don't think everybody got knocked out, but we'd be like freaking just big old hand marks going to class. Like what? Teachers like, "What happened to you?" Teachers knew what was going on, and they would try to catch us, and we'd be like, "Hey, we're gonna, we're gonna slap box during passing period, or we're gonna go to the bathroom at this time, and we're gonna slap box fight." And so we go and freaking slap box and just and smack each other around, but we'd freaking go at it, kind of like that pancration style, like the OG style. We'd like boom. freaking smacking each other right across the face, and that's part of the, it's not just experience. I just tell Ryan, like, oh yeah, we used to go and we used to have these, our junior high was right in the middle of some orange groves, and
we drove by it one time.
Yeah, I remember I drove you.
I think I was with you guys for that. That was like the week of Pan Am's, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's when we trained at Temecula and was it? I don't think Wine Country, maybe.
No, it wasn't.
No, Irvine.
It was, yeah, it definitely wasn't Wine Country, and so we were like, oh, we used to have these orange, toss oranges at each other. We'd have these orange fights and just freaking chuck them.
That's awesome.
And that's it's stupid crap that you freaking do, and it's part of the fun.
Sounds so fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm giving you guys ideas. Freaking great. So
yeah, Ryan, you want to go have a rock fight?
This what was it? This Wednesday, because my English class is like right across from the bathroom. My 7th period English, and you could just hear like. Closer. What was it? It was like, 7th period English, and you could hear like banging, like really loudly, and like the next day, like all the bathrooms are closed off, and everyone like had a video of this kid literally smashing a sink onto the floor. Like he
kid did that to the toilet.
Sink off of the wall. Like he got on it and stomped on it and just smashed it into the floor. So it's still closed off.
There's like one kid who got how like for drama, like they have like different things like they use for the stages, like
well
they have these huge metal things for whatever reason. I think it was like to help keep things in place or something, like backdrops or something. But they'd use them to keep the doors open too, like in the hallways. And one kid brought one into the bathroom and just threw it into the toilet and cracked the toilet. Like it was like this, just like a little porcelain thing, pretty much. Like like how the toilets like have the little drain, like where the stuff goes into. It was just that sticking out of a wall with the little flushing thing. And that was like the end of my junior year when that happened. It was like everybody like was taking pictures of it, like posting it on Instagram and stuff. They're like, only at Campo, like just stupid things like that. It's funny, but like it's screwed up.
Yeah, it's one of those things like I don't know. There was a lot of that.
This kid almost got locked in a locker on Friday.
But he locked himself in a locker?
No, because we were trying to see who would fit into a locker.
We did this.
Someone went in there.
Yeah.
There's one. We fit in junior high. We fit 2 73-pounders in one of those like little skinny lockers.
Oh.
They're so voluntary to it. They're like, let's see if we can do it, and we fit them in it. Like,
it's freaking baby.
And we locked it. And the coach asked, "Where's so and so and so and so?" Like in practice, and then the like 8th graders who put them in there, they just start dying. And then the coach he's like, go get them out of there, and he gets them out of there, and then the coach is just dying. The kids are like laughing, like so freaking funny.
Yeah, but see, those are memories you make. That's the kind of cool stuff that you guys will always have. And the
like even like being on the wrestling team, you create so many memories, like with just the stupid things like stupid people do, like every year, like at like this one tournament, we get ice cream before the finals, like at this McDonald's, and like we have this tradition, like we do like the people coming to the first time for the tournament, like we do like something to their ice cream. I'll just leave it at that, just so like anybody like listening doesn't know. But yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of cool. I mean it's stuff like, oh crap, I'm like, so I'm like here, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, oh shit, you know what? I think we did stuff like that too, like. So you forget like how like, well crap, I was 16, 17 years old too. At some point you're like oh god, like I can't believe I did that kind of stupid crap. But and now we're running down to your last week here.
Not even like I'm at.
Well, I mean
4 days now, like till I actually leave.
Closer.
Yeah.
So now you're 4 days away. You're going away. How's that been hitting you?
I don't know. It's weird. Like I took down like most of my medals because like I'm like, when I get back, I'm just gonna take everything and leave. And then like my parents are like, man, I think we should sell your desk and like this. Like I'm like, yeah, there's nothing in it. Like I literally have my clothes like emptied out. Like I literally only got like a bed pretty much. Like my desk is empty. Like you saw, like I'm giving like some of this stuff like that I don't need or want like away. And like I've even been throwing stuff into like the back of the academy dumpster and like donation box. Like it's just like weird. Like my room's like empty now, and
You should just give me all your nunchucks.
I'm gonna send that to myself, I think. At least the Ninja Star, I'll send that like in a little envelope or something. Just wrap it up in foam. But like, yeah, like just different things like that. It's like, man, like can't believe I'm like getting rid of like some of the stuff I got rid of. Like I got rid of like some like old like Legos and whatnot. Like from like when I was little. Like I kept like some of the little guys. Like those are memories. Like still like, and then like I got like little like. I like some of the Spider-Mans, like different people got me, like my dad or like my grandma, like my great grandmother. Like I got like a Spider-Man, like she got me like back when we went to visit her in Canada, and like it's just like little things like that you keep like to remember things. And then I got like this huge, like I got like these huge bins like filled like with shirts and stuff, like my wrestling shirts from high school, like the very first Kids Pan Am's competitor shirts in there. I got like my shirt, I threw my J-Rob shirts and stuff in there, my shorts, old gis. Like I have my like second gi ever, which was for Brazil. It was blue. I have it, like has like the little Brazil flag, and then just like this other gi I had like from when we first opened the academy. It's just like cool little things.
Yeah, and it's I mean, it's memories that you're gonna have and save away, put away for a little while. And are you like trying to prepare yourself? Like what to expect?
At this point, like I'm kind of prepared. Like I know I'm nervous. Like I'm gonna be in a place I don't know. I only know one. Well, I know like one person. Like so that's like it. But pretty much know nobody. Like don't know anything about the place. Like who the heck wants to go to freaking North Dakota? Like there's literally nothing out there. Like so, yeah. It's like I'm moving to like a new place, and new challenges are gonna come, which is exciting. Like come out with a degree, hopefully.
Yeah, and you have a good mindset about it, and
but like I'll admit, like definitely like scared. Like if you don't like have a goal you're like kind of scared of, like what's the point? Like in having like something like a big thing to be like excited about. Like I'm scared. Like what if like this happens? What if that happens? Like, but you got to be willing to risk it. Like we were talking about earlier. Like,
yeah, and it's true. I mean, you gotta. I mean, the only scary part is being away. School's gonna be school.
Wrestling's gonna be wrestling.
Yeah, that's.
Everybody's gonna beat the crap out of everybody.
You can control that.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff. But it's I think the part of moving away and is you're leaving people behind and all these memories, because you're like you leave. I mean, you have a lot of people that miss you, that care for you, that watched you grow up, from being this little bald kid, everywhere. Where you
had all this jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Your sister was always taller than you, and
oh my god, she's like my size now, like still like.
But I mean, it's not just like. I'm sure your parents are dealing with it, the certain way, and they're preparing, getting you ready. They've done their job, but now it's like, everybody. I'm sure a lot of people here are gonna be like, oh gosh, it's gonna be a little different now. It's gonna be.
Yeah. I wonder how the academy is gonna be without me, like, because like when I was at J-Rob, like, you guys were just moving, like throughout most of like me and J-Rob, you guys were moving, and then you had your first class, where like now like we're like settled, like we're like probably never gonna leave this location, and now I'm gonna be gone. Like the academy is like gonna really be without me. Like we know I'm not coming like back for a while.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I mean the academy, and that's the thing is the academy will go on. And life will go on, and then that everything keeps going and everything keeps moving, and that's the way you got to kind of look at it too. It's like it's gonna continue whatever it's gonna with, here or not. I mean, it's gonna continue, and then that's why you got to kind of focus on your deal and your your life now. Going up there and dealing with that, with school and wrestling, and so, but I mean, you're gonna have a lot of people. Gonna be, Ryan's had you growing up with him this whole time, and you guys had a lot of
like
stupid memories. I'm sure
he's like been like a little brother. Like I never really had. Like beat the crap out of him. Like
you broke his wrist.
Yeah, I broke his wrist that one time. It's literally like right after getting my blue belt. He's like, "Let's roll," and then like I went for like a light wrist lock, and then he falls like kind of like on top of me, and then I'm like, "Oh God, what the heck?" And then he's like crying. I'm like, "Bro, you're fine. You're fine. You'll be fine." Like it's just like like those memes like, oh when mom's not around, it's just like, "Ow, bro, what the heck?" When mom's around and it's the kid in tears, and the guy's like, "Shh, bro, come on." And then like, or like, even like when I like shove him like in a corner, just start like pounding him like for whatever reason, like it's just like things like that, like you don't think about, but like it's like you're gonna miss it, like
you do. You think about it all the time. Even here, like even the adults and. That watched you grow up for so long.
Now I have to beat them all up.
Yeah, now he's like gonna be like the new me, like beat the crap out of like the people.
Yeah. I wish I weighed more. If I weighed more,
closer.
If I weighed more, I could do a lot better.
Well, no one heard you because you're.
Well, okay. I bet they heard me.
Okay, we'll talk into the microphone.
Okay.
Trust me, weight doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. But so you're. Got 4 days. Anything you're trying to get done, or anything you're like?
I think I want to go to In-N-Out one last time. Like,
oh man,
last time I went there. I got like a double, a normal cheeseburger. Like I ordered like half the menu. I gotta go back there like one more time probably, and then say bye to like some old friends and stuff. Like probably go to school once. Like I gotta talk to my wrestling coach because I went there the other day and they wouldn't let me in, so I gotta call him up before I get there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta say your goodbyes and I know
Thursday I'm going out to eat with my mom and the dog, so that should be fun. A little French turd.
Yeah, man. But so yeah, dude. It's been awesome. Well, it's been awesome watching you grow up. It really has, and you've been family with us, and it's been amazing. You've been growing since you're a little kid, and then
maturing with Cindy.
Yeah, and then she'll always have a special place. Always have a special place, but then also too, it's kind of like, you gotta kind of do your own thing. You gotta, and hopefully, a lot of us here at the academy are gonna miss you, and hopefully, we all helped you in some shape or form, and we're all kind of. Everybody's rooting for you. That's for sure. That. So they want to see you succeed. But, a lot of it, has, a lot of your deal has to do, don't forget, your parents did a lot for you and to prepare. I don't know if that's the way how you would think about it.
Yeah, I guess it's a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of a good way to end it, man. So,
yeah.
But, it's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
All right, dude. We'll get you out of here. You got 4 days to go.
Yeah.
And we'll see you during the week.
Yep.
So, anything you want to say before you leave?
Nah. Yeah, like, kind of got everything out.
All right.
Just good luck, Ryan. Good luck with these next 4 years. You can do this. Like, high school's just the beginning.
And then I get to go to college.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yep. Thank you for having me. Have a great night.
All right. So we'll
Goodbye.
leave it at that, and then we'll wish you luck.
Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Yep. See you guys.